So, it's burning hot outside, but I've got some AC in here. I feel like I just took horse tranquilizer because of my new medication, but we're going to power through this. We're going to make a Silent Hill tier list here, and we're going to have fun while we do it. Been playing these games with the homies a lot, and they're super, hyper fixated on them. Like, my friends watching lore videos and shit, so I figured I should, indulge my own hyperfixation and get this tier list done with before I inevitably move on to focusing on something else and just put these games out of my mind because I've just played all these. Okay. Silent Hill 1. This game is scary as fuck for a PS1 game. It's like ridiculously ahead of its time. It's jank and obtuse, but it's also kind of groundbreaking and terrifying. Silent Hill 1's a great time. I think that it's got some, major issues in terms of controls, but it's not that it's bad controls necessarily. They just haven't aged well. A lot of people will pick it up these days and touch the controls for 5 seconds and just say, I'm done, I'm not touching this ever again. Which I guess I could understand, to be fair. Because it doesn't have quite the controls that Silent Hill 2 and 3 do. I think the ending system is really frustrating. I think that the fact that you have to do that coffin side quest to end up getting any good endings at all is a little weird. Especially considering you're looking for Cheryl. It just doesn't make much sense for Harry to stop and explore when he really needs to go to the lighthouse. I think he's headed to the lighthouse at that point in the game. But either way, this game has incredible atmosphere, way better atmosphere than Resident Evil, to be honest. I think if you look at Silent Hill for what it was, which in the end, it was basically Konami just being like, we're going to make a Resident Evil clone. We need to compete with Resident Evil. And it turned out to be so much more than that. It turned out to be just this mesmerizingly terrifying game, especially considering it was on the PlayStation 1. It's still scary to this day. You can go back and play the first 3 Resident Evil games, and I don't know, they're scary, I guess. But not to the level that Silent Hill 1 is. Story's a little flat. Sometimes. I think overall it's a good plot, but I think really the cutscenes are flat. There's a lot of moments in Silent Hill 1 where they'll just there is no cinematography in Silent Hill 1. You'll just get a shot of Harry and Sybil talking to each other for a minute and a half, and the camera doesn't move, and there's all these awkward pauses between the lines. But if you can get over that stuff, which to be fair was in a lot of PlayStation 1 games at the time, Silent Hill 1's fun. I mean, it's great. It's a 9 out of 10. I'm really excited for the remake because it's a game that needed a remake more than Silent Hill 2 did. I don't know if I can put it in S tier, which I know a lot of people will probably get furious at me for, but I just don't know if I can because it's got too many little things that annoy me. There's some puzzle moments that aren't exactly the most intuitive thing in the world. I think the level design is fantastic. There are just a lot of moments in the last dungeon that are really confusing, and I know it's supposed to be. But it's a great game. I'd say it's, considering when it came out, and considering what it was competing with, and considering what it ended up turning into, I give it A. It's a great game. It's fun. It's a good introduction to the series. Voice acting is a little flat, but also voice acting isn't all flat. Lisa. The performance for Lisa was incredible. Incredible! Especially compared to, I don't know, Resident Evil 1.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
It's better, it's a lot better than that. But I think that's most of my thoughts on Silent Hill 1. It's jank, it's obtuse, but it's also, like I said, really, really groundbreaking. It was able to pull all these influences together in a really unique way. Silent Hill is A tier. Silent Hill 2. It's hard to describe how good it is because most people have already said most of the things that need to be said about Silent Hill 2, like how its atmosphere is almost perfect, or some people would say perfect. How its story is just, it is so sad. Like, oh my gosh. The voice acting at the end of this game during that last letter reading. Not necessarily a pleasant game, but like so geniusly crafted that like I eventually pushed through. This game is so fucking scary that I had to listen to a playthrough when I was back in high school instead of like watching one. I literally couldn't watch a playthrough. It was too scary, so I had to listen to one. And then when I finally got up the nerve to play the game, I had to use a walkthrough, not because I was stuck, but because I wanted to know when the next jump scare was gonna happen. And I was so fucking scared that like I needed the walkthrough just to tell me like, okay, is there an enemy up here? Cool. Because like that's how fucking oppressive and affecting the game is. Even if the game isn't necessarily for everyone, it's not trying to be. It's a game that deals with like themes that just weren't in games. Body dysmorphia that Eddie deals with, the sexual assault that Angela deals with, like the psychosis and grief that James is going through. Those like just weren't things that were explored in 2001 in video games. Not very often, at least. Not in like a big budget, like AAA game from a major publisher. It made me fucking cry, man. How could it not be an S tier? There's nowhere else to put it. It doesn't belong anywhere else except S tier. And this isn't even mentioning the fucking soundtrack. Oh my god. Like Day of Night, one of the best songs that a human being has ever composed. Pianissimo epilogue. I think it's pianissimo, like pianissimo. The song that plays on the fucking credits. Perfect song. No notes. Perfect story, like for the time, really good visuals. Obviously, like yes, the poly count's not as high as like something from today, and you know, the voice acting is in some ways hokey, but like I would rather take some occasionally hokey voice acting that like hits such an emotional core so often rather than like, I don't know, the HD collection voices. Silent Hill 2's original voice acting is just, it's human. Humans have fault in their speech. Humans aren't perfect. And a lot of the people who worked on Silent Hill 2 weren't professional voice actors. They were like stage actors. And they even acted out the cutscenes on a stage just to make sure the chemistry was there. And it is there. It has that chemistry that like something like Sonic Adventure 2 doesn't have. Because it was just a script and all the voice actors record their lines like separately and then they combine them together. So yeah, I can't go on much more about Silent Hill 2. It's perfect. Everyone should play it. If you haven't, go to the Internet Archive and snag a copy. I really wish I didn't know the twist before playing it. I mean, I watched a walkthrough, so I can't blame anybody. But you should play this game before, like, don't look anything up about it. Just play it. It's one of the only times in our society where a team has just been given total creative control and a huge budget, and they can just do whatever they want. And like in the AAA video game space, they can just do anything. Because that's what Konami said. They were like, well, Silent Hill 1 was great. We don't know what you did. Do it again. And that's how we got Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 3. Three is tough to rank. 3 was being developed at the same time as 4, and you can tell. But it has the most terrifying environments I've ever seen, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life, and a story that I still don't fully understand, and I'm still getting more out of after like 6 playthroughs. Silent Hill 3 is A tier. I want to put it in S. I really do. But I have to say, the story is great, but about half the game has no story. The first half of Silent Hill 3 is like, I'm at a mall and some guy's trying to hit on me, and now I need to call my dad and go home. That's the plot for the first half of the game. That's it. That is the story of Silent Hill 3 for the first like half of the game. The second half of Silent Hill 3, story-wise, is absolutely fantastic. But you also have to understand that the first half doesn't have anything going on. And because there's no direction to the story besides get home, you're just doing a level and then doing another level immediately afterwards. You're just going from like dungeon to dungeon to dungeon. There's no like transitionary areas. It's just dungeon, 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 and then finally the story's like something happens. So I think the main issue isn't that the game is bad or anything, it's just that it's backloaded plot-wise. And I wish the pacing was better, and you can tell it's not a finished game. It's one of the best unfinished games of all time. In fact, I might say it's the best unfinished game besides maybe like Fallout New Vegas or something. It's great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's just like these other games, it's not too long. It's just long enough. Considering the fact that the first half of the game has like barely any plot, the game feels too long, even though it's only like 6 or 7 hours. It feels too long because you only get to Silent Hill in like the last, third of the game, or the last half. Like, it takes a while. It takes like 3 or 4 hours before you even arrive at Silent Hill, which in my opinion is when Silent Hill 3 really pops off, but the game's almost over at that point. So yeah, I think it belongs in A. A lot of people would probably disagree and put it in S, but I don't know. It's just got too many little problems. It's a 9 out of 10. It's an A tier. It's still a fantastic game. Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful scares, really good music. Obviously You're Not Here is like fucking iconic, man. Great music. I love that they introduced vocals into the mix. I don't like the credit song with vocals. Like, I don't think anyone does. That Joe Ramersa song is fucking ear torture. But other than that, it's fun. I enjoy Silent Hill 3. I think Silent Hill 3 deserves like a solid A tier. Like, it's cool. I wish it was a finished product. I wish they didn't rush it, because it was rushed. You can tell because of the story. But other than that, I still think it has like better controls than Silent Hill 1. It does its best to not require you to play Silent Hill 1 first, but there is still a little bit of a feeling that if you start with 2, you kind of should play 1 afterwards, which can feel like jarring. But also going from 3 to 1 can feel jarring. There's just not really an ideal way to start the series unless you like don't mind tank controls. Then I just say start with 1, obviously. But a lot of people can't handle 1 these days. So 3 is great. A little bit of a backloaded story. Silent Hill 4. The music is so good. Oh, the music is so good. Oh my god, the music is so good. The story's great. I don't like Henry, which I can talk about in a minute, but like putting him aside, the actual plot is great. Everything with Walter is great. The music is great. I can't stand the gameplay. I cannot stand it. There's so much wrong. Like, the level design is terrible. That's the biggest problem. But other than that, like, there's other issues. The combat isn't good. There's more of a focus on it, and it sucks. Don't bother. I really want to love it. I want to love it so much, but I can't even finish it. I can't even finish the damn thing. It still has a little bit of that Silent Hill identity. The atmosphere is kind of hit or miss. The story's great. The gameplay is just awful. The enemies are a joke. I mean, there's the Eileen head. That's scary. But, like, other than that, I guess the ghosts are a little scary. The dogs are just annoying. That jump scare at the beginning with the dogs is so fucking lame. Silent Hill 4 The Room is just a perfect example of, like, too much experimentation. Way too much. Like, removing the flashlight and the radio should have been, like, the furthest you would go in terms of experimentation, but they went even further than that. And they, like, modified the actual formula of the Silent Hill series to, like, insert all this first-person stuff. It was bad, and like I didn't like it. It looked terrible. All the textures look like shit. Silent Hill 4 is so disappointing because it has so much going for it, but it also has so much going against it at the same time. It's a perfect definition of like a 6 out of 10. which I know should put it in D, but I've listened to the Silent Hill 4 soundtrack almost as much as the 2 soundtrack, so I have to put it in C for that. And I do love the story. I don't love Henry. Henry's the biggest problem with the game, because he, isn't a human being, or he's the most introverted person on the planet, neither of which is very interesting to play as. Shitty main character, shitty gameplay. The whole second half of the game is a fucking escort mission. It doesn't help that there's no way to play it on modern systems. You could get the GOG version, but you have to get a fan fix to even play it with a controller. And the PS2 version can't be emulated very well. So it's a mess. Trying to play it is a mess. It's not even worth trying to play. It's so disappointing. It's such a crappy way to go out, man. Silent Hill 3 is the perfect ending for Team Silent. I mean, obviously I wish they kept making games and they were good, but the end of Silent Hill 3 is just perfect. Okay, that's it. Story's done. It's over. Nobody cares about Walter. He's a memo in Silent Hill 2. No one cares. The story is over. And they're okay, we're gonna make a 4th Silent Hill game. And it's gonna be experimental. And it's gonna be infuriating. And it's gonna have enemies that won't move the fuck out of your way. C tier. C tier at best. Silent Hill Origins.
Day after day, eyes that follow me. Is it you again? And let's be the end.
It's better and it's worse than Silent Hill 4. The sound design was better, but the story was worse. The music was really hit or miss. The puzzles were bad. At least the level design was okay. The retcons are really disrespectful. It was clearly written by somebody who had never played Silent Hill 1 all the way through, which is bad. You'd think if you were a writer for one of these games that you'd actually understand the lore that you're trying to make a prequel to, but they just didn't understand. It has one of the most insanely troubled developments I've ever seen in a video game. I'm stunned it didn't get canceled, which is why I have some admiration for it, because it's such a troubled project. It had so many development problems. It started out as a dark comedy that I think was inspired by Scrubs. Just a horrible idea. They were able to take that and turn it into something that was actually resembling a Silent Hill game, and I understand that must have taken a lot of effort. Restructuring a game is not easy. But at the end of the day, Origins is okay at best. It's one of the biggest quality downgrades I think I've ever seen in a series. 3 to 4 was already a huge downgrade, but then 4 to Origins is even farther. Some ways it's better than Silent Hill 4. I sure like playing it a lot more, but there's also those issues when you want to run, you have a delay on your run. You hold the button and then 3 seconds later you actually start running, which is just, how do you miss something like that? I don't know if it's because it was a port of a PSP game to the PS2 or what. The story doesn't make any sense. Why does Travis just leave his truck running and just walk off and not do anything about it? There's not a lot to say. It's okay. I respect it. I really respect the developers more than I respect the game itself. I think the developers were handed an insanely difficult task and they did their best. And their best just wasn't as good as Team Silent's best. In terms of being the first Western developed Silent Hill game, it's one of the better ones, I guess, but that's only because it's the second best one. I still actually like playing it more than I like playing Silent Hill 4 The Room. So I'm actually going to give it a C tier, which probably a little controversial, but Origins is cool. I never finished it, but at least I was able to kind of enjoy the level design. It is kind of a Silent Hill 1 retread, and a lot of the story elements, the more I think about it, are so fucking disrespectful and stupid. When I consider the story, it goes D. Because Silent Hill 4's story is way better. Origin's story is bad. And I don't like it. I think there are some okay vocal performances, but the whole thing with Lisa sleeping with Kaufman is so stupid. That was dumb. Just Alessa becoming this villainous, creepy little girl instead of being a tragic figure and the main hero of the story, basically. Yeah, D tier. Silent Hill Homecoming. Where am I, man?
Where am I, man?
Oh god. Homecoming is garbage. Homecoming is shit, dude. The only good things about the game are the main characters, Jacket, That looks kind of cool. There's a tiny bit of cool, like, lore, like the whole Shepherd's Glen thing, that's okay. And it has a decent soundtrack. Everything else is a mess. You can clip through any wall in the game once you have the pistol. That does not sound like a finished product to me. Homecoming on PC is so bad, it crashed on me 3 times in 45 minutes. The only people I have ever seen beat Homecoming without a crash are motherfucking speedrunners, because they know what to avoid and they know how not to make the game crash. That's how fucked up it is. The speedrunning route literally avoids certain sections just to avoid crashing. And sometimes speedrunners do deal with crashes. Absolutely unplayable PC port. Absolutely unacceptable. Garbage. Literal sewage. Literal trash. No idea how it released. And I've heard it crashes on console too. Not as much, but the console version has its own set of problems. Homecoming has a decent story. I really do mean decent. Like, there's some okay scenes. Most of the game is just, where's this character? And the other character's like, I don't know where they are. And then Alex, or whatever, the main guy's like, okay. And that just repeats over and over. I don't know if I can call it the worst Western Silent Hill, but it is, like, complete garbage. And I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole ever again. And I said the soundtrack was good. Like, it's good, but it's still not, like, on the level of Silent Hill 3 or 4 or 2 or 1 in terms of music. I don't know, like, there's a decent enough soundtrack. Most of the characters are total pieces of shit. Alex is boring. The little brother character is annoying. I want my toy. I want Robbie. He's a fucking dick. Fuck that little kid, man. Fuck Homecoming. Like I said, there's some cool things about it. I like the character's main jacket. I think that's a really cool looking jacket. I want a jacket that looks like that. The twist is, like, decently pulled off, I guess. Most of the game is just terrible, and the combat is atrocious. There's not anything else to say. It's just bad. Don't play it. If you're, like, extremely curious, then, like, maybe pick up the 360 version. Don't ever touch that PC port if you value your sanity or your time. Because, the game doesn't have autosaves. It has manual saving and crashing. Have fun playing all that shit again. Homecoming is F tier. Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
In your mind's eye lives a memory hard to find, blinded by sorrow, and her cold voice sings a melody. Hear her sing, till frozen rain falls.
This is a weird one. For about 90% of the game, I had absolutely no idea what I was watching and was just asking a million questions and was furious and fed up and confused. And then the last 10% of the game is, like, absolutely incredible and almost answered every question I had. Is that a satisfying way to write a story? I don't know, but that's how they did it. And I have to admit, the end of Shattered Memories is really, really fucking good. When he, like, throws the glass against the wall and screams at you to wake up, and then, like, you find out who you've been playing as, and Harry walks in, and it's, like, a really, really, really good scene that really affected me, and it makes the whole game make sense. But, like, at the same time, the game doesn't really answer any of your questions until literally the last 10% of the game, which wasn't even true in Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 didn't give you definitive answers on a lot of things, but Shattered Memories tries to wrap up its, like, frankly mess of a story, and it does it amazingly. It's one of the best ending sections in the series, topped only, of course, by Silent Hill 2. Shattered Memories is fantastic. It's just that it's not fun to play. I don't like playing it, and it's a video game. And because it's a video game that I don't like playing, I don't go back to it very much. I admit that it has a lot of replayability. I love the psych profile system. That's fucking genius. Incredible idea. The implementation was good too. It could have been a little better, but really the main problems of the game are that there's absolutely zero combat, and one monster, and the puzzles are poo-poo, goo-goo gaga baby shit. It's like, oh, I found a locked door, where's the key? And then you go around a corner and there's a key, and you pick up the key, and then you unlock the door, and that's the puzzle. It happens like 4 times in the first, like, 2 hours. The puzzles are terrible. The level design was not very good. The controls are okay. The stutter when you open a door is absolutely unacceptable, dude. I would rather it just fade to black. when you open a door than the stutter. It's so immersion shattering and jarring when you open a door in Shattered Memories and it just stutters like that. I hate that shit. So yeah, Shattered Memories is probably the best Western developed Silent Hill game, but it has a lot of problems in and of itself. It's still not like as great as the Team Silent games, at least the first 3 Team Silent games. But I have to say I enjoy it more than Silent Hill 4, so B tier. I actually really like it. I think that its gameplay isn't the greatest, but it's also a very short game. It's very easy to replay. There's lots of reasons to replay the game. The story is absolutely amazing once you understand what's actually happening. I know I said it was very frustrating the first time through, but you could argue that for like Silent Hill 1 as well. You could also argue that Silent Hill 1 is kind of like just gibberish until like the last like few hours, but I wouldn't necessarily agree, but I could see the argument for sure. Shattered Memories is B tier. I haven't really mentioned the music. Pretty good. Pretty great music. I wish it was better. I wish it was a finished game. I wish it had loot in it, and I wish it had combat in it, because it is a game with no combat and no loot. So you just run around and open doors and watch cutscenes, and that's the game. Oh, and you solve those puzzles that probably a kindergartner could solve. In fact, they probably use stuff like that in preschool to train kids. Like, oh, where's the key? Where's the key? And they fucking jangle it in front of you, and they're like, oh, there it is, there it is. And you pick it up. And you unlock the door, and they're like, good job, good job. B tier. Silent Hill Downpour.
I start to search all the dark places that I have found. All the decreases in my mind that are torn up somehow. I want to keep the pace. I want to figure it out. I gotta do it this way. If I don't, everything's lost.
Downpour's got a lot of things going for it, and a lot of things going against it. I like Murphy. I like his design. I think his performance was alright. Even I have to admit, his design is literally just James, but he's cool. He's like edgy James. I always struggle to remember a lot of what happens in Downpour, because a lot of it is just not very interesting. It has like good music, decent graphics, I guess, in some scenes. Some scenes are worse than others. There's a lot of characters I hate in this game. I hate the DJ guy who's always doing shout-outs and always being like, this goes out to blah, blah, blah. I can't stand him. I don't even remember his name because I hate him so much. I always get it confused with Homecoming because they're so similar in a lot of ways, but I'd have to say it's okay. There's a lot of problems with it. It's got some weird combat. The aiming system is really stupid. They tried, I guess. It's like all these other Western Silent Hill games, it's just not a finished product. At this point in the series, Konami had no idea what the fuck they were doing. And Downpour killed the series. I mean, it didn't single-handedly kill the series. We probably have Homecoming to blame for that. But it was kind of a 1-2 punch situation. You had like 4, which people didn't really like. Then you had Origins, which a lot of people didn't like. Then you had Homecoming, which people absolutely hated. Then you had Shattered Memories, which like has its fans. And then you had Downpour, which people hated. And that many bad games in a row, despite what you think about Shattered Memories, even putting that aside, just like The Room, Origins, Homecoming, Downpour, having all that come out, it's a miracle the series even lasted until 2012. Thankfully, it's back. You know, we got new shit. Downpour is just kind of a giant mess, but I'd still rather play it than Homecoming, so D tier. Silent Hill Book of Memories. Easily the worst game in the series. Easily. I've never seen such a fucking fundamental misunderstanding of a brand in my life. And I probably never will again. What were they thinking? It's a Silent Hill dungeon crawler. That'll be great. It'll sell millions of copies. People will love it. A horror dungeon crawler. That could work, but not with Silent Hill. The first task of the game is to go into your coworker's brain and like do some weird voodoo magic to make sure you get a raise instead of them. It's such a fucking weird game. Dumbass like Troy Baker voice acting. Like, I respect Troy, but he just phones it in so hard. He's such a cheap and easy, like, pick. There's not even anything to say about it. As a dungeon crawler, it sucks. As a Silent Hill game, it sucks. As a game, it sucks. With the exception of the second Silent Hill movie, it's the worst thing that's ever been in the series. Book of Memories is F tier. I don't even have to think about it. Silent Hill 2 Remake. This is a tough one to rank. So when I first played it, I didn't really like how long it was. And I didn't like the fact that it was so stretched out, because the original Silent Hill 2, if you know what you're doing, takes about 4.5, 5 hours. First playthrough might take 6. Silent Hill 2 Remake, I think it took like 16 hours. And at first I didn't like that, and a lot of the changes they made really pissed me off. But then I had this really transformative experience, and I went over to my friend's house and I played it with him. My friend is more into like third-person shooters and like The Last of Us and Uncharted and stuff like that. He's a PlayStation gamer, you could call him. He's really into modern third-person stuff, so when he picked up Silent Hill 2, which of course I had him play the original first, because, you know, I'm a good friend. I'm not gonna, you know, destroy his experience by being like, don't play the original. No, play the original. But when he booted up Silent Hill 2 Remake, we just had this amazing time of trying to figure the game out together, looking at the map, saying like, where haven't we explored yet? Like checking our items, figuring out where we need to put stuff, deciphering codes. It was just the most fun I've ever had collaborating with another person in terms of like puzzle solving in my life. And while I might be frustrated playing it alone, that session that we did was so much fun that I honestly don't even mind all the bloat that they put on the game, because, make no mistake, Silent Hill 2 Remake is bloated. There is a ton of extra content that wasn't the original, and you could argue there's a lot of filler in it too. But at the end of the day, I'm not even mad, because the original Silent Hill 2 is such a short game, and that's fine. Like, I love how short Silent Hill 2 is, that I don't think making the remake longer was necessarily a bad thing. I think it would have been worse if it was any longer, though. 16 hours is about the cap for where I want my horror games in terms of length. I remember the original Resident Evil 4 it just felt like a little too long, because I think it was like 20 hours or so, and the remake was actually able to fix that while staying the same length, but this isn't about Resident Evil. Point is, Silent Hill 2 Remake, it's just so good. I didn't think I would like it as much. I wish the PC version wasn't such a fucking mess. That's one thing I will complain about. What the fuck is up with the PC version of Silent Hill 2? Is it just because it's in Unreal Engine 5? I don't get it. It's a mess. I have never been able to get a stable even 30 FPS, and I have a fucking 2070. I don't understand what the hell I'm doing wrong. The game either looks absolutely hideous and runs decent, or looks okay and runs like total shit. There are people who are like modifying the engine INI file and like putting it up on Nexus mods, because that's how fucking broken this is. But if you have a PS5, pick it up. Give it a shot. It's probably the best horror game we've gotten in a long time, and I don't just mean Silent Hill game, I mean in a while. Like, it's the best horror game I think I've played that's new since like Resident Evil 2 Remake. I don't know if it's quite as good as the Resident Evil remakes, which it's clearly inspired by, but I think they did a really good job. Vocal performances are more natural, which could be a good or a bad thing, depending on, you know, your taste, but I do prefer the original voice acting. I don't think that the cutscenes in the remake have necessarily the same cinematography that was in the original, and I don't think they have the same necessarily feel. I really, really wish there was a way to pay for some kind of original soundtrack option, because a lot of the remixes are just, hey, it's the same song, but 20% worse. Like, I wish they either overhauled the songs or just kept them the same, because doing these tiny little adjustments just drives my brain crazy. Like, please release some kind of original OST DLC. Like, obviously they're gonna charge for it, but that's fine. I'd pay like $10 for it, which is overpriced for the record, but I'd do it. Considering what we've been dealing with, you know, Downpour, Homecoming, Origins, I think Silent Hill 2 Remake stands heads and shoulders above all those games, and I think it belongs at the top of B tier. I know it might sound like I'm underrating it just a tiny bit, but it isn't as good as the original, and that's fine. It's not really trying to be. It's different enough that it's worth playing both, and that's what the Resident Evil remakes achieve, and I really like that. They could have just tried to straight up remake Silent Hill 2 100%, not change anything, not make it longer, not make it any different, and it would have just seemed kind of pointless. And now we're getting that Silent Hill 1 remake by Bloober Team, and I'm really excited for that. Alright, as a little bonus of sorts, I'm also going to throw in the Silent Hill movies in here because I watched them as well. So, Silent Hill from 2006. What do I think about this movie? Well, the set design was pretty good, but there were a lot of references that you wouldn't understand unless you'd played the games. The soundtrack was literally just songs from the games, which is a double-edged sword because on one hand, it's not some crappy remix or some orchestration that nobody's going to enjoy, but at the same time, it's literally just like taking the MP3 file from the soundtrack and placing it in your editing timeline. So, I don't know. It's a little lazy, but at least it was effective. At least the music was still great because it was just the same music from 2 and 3. You really have to be a fan of the games to get the most out of it. The story was alright, the characters were alright, the ending was so fucking violent and insane, and I'm not complaining, it was a really cool payoff. I liked it a lot. Is it the most accurate thing in the world? No, there's definitely a lot of retcons from Silent Hill 1, for sure. Of course, I have to mention the iconic, terrifying Pyramid Head scene, which I probably can't show the entirety of on YouTube, but if you know, you know. You know what happens, and it's so fucking memorable, and the image will be forever ingrained in my mind. Acting's alright. Sean Bean does a decent job. He seems really shoehorned into the movie. They gave Officer Gucci
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
like a much bigger role than he had in the games. I think in Silent Hill 1 he was just like a memo. In the movie, he's a major character. But when Christoph Gans, the director, turned in the script for this movie, his first draft, they said, oh, there are no male characters, it's all women. So we want you to shoehorn in male characters. And that's really what it feels like. They feel shoehorned in. They feel like they don't belong. Sean Bean's quest doesn't really go anywhere. He just looks around for information about Silent Hill, and he finds some information about Silent Hill, and then I don't even remember if he goes there in the climax because he's such an afterthought. I don't even think he's there in the last church scene. Cool movie. A lot better than the Resident Evil movies, unless you like cornball, cheeseball garbage, which I kind of do, so I mean, I don't know. It was good. There were a lot of great practical sets and practical effects. Obviously there was some CGI in the movie, but I really liked a lot of the practical effects that were used. I think it's a solid film adaptation. I know there are problems with it. It has major issues. That's fine. Compared to what we're about to get into here, I think Silent Hill from 2006 is a really good movie, and I think you should watch it even if you haven't played the games. And I feel like you could get a really good experience out of it, especially if you haven't heard that music before. Like if you haven't heard Ordinary Vanity, because you haven't played Silent Hill 2, and you hear it in this movie, it's going to have an emotional connection with you. I will give it a B tier, because I think that's what it deserves. I think the Silent Hill movie from 2006 is a really good movie. I think it's got really good cinematography, really good direction. It's not perfect. It's not incredible or anything. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, which I know should put it in C tier, but then I watched this, so it belongs in B tier because Revelation 3D makes Silent Hill 2006 look like an absolute masterclass in filmmaking. Silent Hill Revelation 3D is just a fucking piece of garbage, man. I don't even know what to say. I watched it with the homie, and he couldn't even finish it. We got 2/3 of the way into the movie, and he quit. I don't even understand. I'm not mad at him or anything, but I don't understand. Usually when someone quits a bad movie, they quit like a third in or halfway in, but he was just holding out hope that something interesting would finally happen. And we actually got to the moment where everything was about to pop off, but it had just been such a bad movie for the first 2/3 that he couldn't do it, and he just tapped out. He had 2 taps on the desk, he said, I'm out. And I don't even blame him. The last third of this movie is cheeseball, cornball amazingness, and stupid, and dumb, and the hug battle is dumb. It's all stupid. But the first 2/3 is a mess, man. The acting, the dialogue, the cinematography, the lighting, the CGI was garbage. You could tell when they went to Silent Hill it wasn't real fog. You could tell. You could tell it was all CGI'd in. And the characters have this like weird aura around them because of how poorly edited the movie is. Silent Hill Revelation 3D is the worst piece of official Silent Hill media out there. It was so bad that, like I said, I had a friend tap out. And this is someone who likes Silent Hill. This isn't just like my homie who sometimes watches horror movies who I want to show this movie to. No, he's like a Silent Hill fan now at this point. He played 2, he loved it. He's playing 2 Remake right now, he loves that. And I try to get him to watch this movie with me. Like, dude, we watched the first one, it was pretty good, you know. He had his issues with it, I had my issues with it, but it was fun, you know. We had a good time. We chilled, we watched the movie, and I'm like, yeah, let's watch the sequel. It has like a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. I bet it'll be like, so bad it's good. No, it's just a really boring horror movie that isn't scary. The Robbie jump scare, so lame. So fucking predictable and lame. Say what you want about other dumb jump scares in movies like Insidious or whatever, but at least you can't see that one coming, and you know the one I'm talking about, but you can't see that one coming. But like the Robbie jump scare, you can literally tell it's about to happen. You can tell when the movie's about to jump scare you every single time because it jump scares you constantly. That's why I didn't get into horror for so long. It's because I thought the entire genre was just boo, 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 gotcha motherfucker, boo, 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 got you, boo, gotcha. And that's not how Silent Hill is, especially 1, 2, and 3. There are moments like that, for sure, but they are there to punctuate the dread. They're not there to be the main appeal, and that's all Revelation 3D has going for it. I can't believe what they did to Vincent. I can't believe what they did to Heather. I can't believe what they did to Claudia. She's like barely in the movie. She appears like the last like 20 minutes and then she turns into the monster thing and fights with Pyramid Head. They tried to make Pyramid Head into a good guy, which he was guiding James, but he was never like a good guy. Like he tries to fucking kill James at one point. So he was never a good guy, and it's just weird to see him retconned into being one. Revelation 3D is so bad that we haven't gotten a Silent Hill movie in over 10 years because of this stupid ass movie. It's tripe. It's pure fucking tripe. It's like in my top 5 worst movies of all time. I'd rather watch Saw 4. I'd rather watch fucking Minions. This movie tries to jump scare you with a fucking Pop-Tart. Oh no, it's a Pop-Tart. Ah! Are you fucking kidding me? Lazy film. Sean Bean at the end, like, going back into Silent Hill when the whole fucking point of the movie was to, like, save him and, like, get him back. And at the end, he's like, well, I feel like I just need to stay here, you know. I need to find my wife because she's still out there. I didn't tell you that. Your mother's still alive, by the way. Peace. And then he just dips out. I don't know what else there is to say, man. I think there was one moment when I saw someone who looked like Tom Hewlett, so if anyone knows if that's actually Tom Hewlett, please tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find any information confirming it. It definitely looks like Tom Hewlett, though. Yeah, Revelation 3D is garbage. Don't even watch it if you're a series fan. Even if you're a, like, series fan who's curious about it, just don't watch it. It's not worth your time. It's boring. The last third is kind of interesting, but the first 2/3, which is an entire hour of your life, you'll never get back. They kill off Douglas within like 20 minutes. He was like a major character in Silent Hill 3, and that's the story they were trying to adapt, and they just kill him off and have Vincent replace him, which doesn't work because Vincent has his own role that he needs to fulfill, and he can't do that and be a Douglas at the same time. And they try to do that, and he just feels like 2 different characters. He feels like he's from this weird cult that grew up in the other world, and they're so evil, and they do all this crazy shit, but he also like knows about Facebook, and he makes like pop culture references and jokes, and he goes to high school. One of these things is not like the other. Like, these things are incompatible. They don't make any sense. He's supposed to be like this creepy, isolated cult guy who's been in a cult his entire life and has never had any outside connection with anything, but he knows what fucking Facebook is? It doesn't make any sense. Terrible movie. I don't even have to think about where I'm gonna put it. Belongs squarely in the F tier. And that's it. Those are my opinions on the whole series. It was so much fun making this video, and it was so much fun going through these games. Once I finally, mustered up the courage to try Silent Hill 2, playing that was great. Then going to 3, having a ton of fun with that. It took a few tries for me to get into 1, but I eventually got really, really deep into 1. I played 4 and was disappointed, but then I finally took the plunge with these Western Silent Hill games, and, well, I didn't necessarily have fun. I definitely got a lot of good music out of it. I'm glad I gave all these games a shot. Like, obviously, a lot of the series is pretty bad, which is the sad part about Silent Hill, and why people thought it was dead for so long. Like, for example, I didn't even rank PT because I can't play it. I'd love to play PT. I'd love to rank it. It looks terrifying, but I'd love to at least give it a shot. But no, they won't let me play PT, so I literally can't play it. And for anyone who's wondering, this bottom category that has the X mark, it just is games that I couldn't play or didn't want to play. Like, I'm not gonna set up playing Silent Hill Orphan. Like, I don't care. The short message, I don't have a PS5, but it's only like an hour long, so Silent Hill F is not released yet. I don't know why it's on this tier list. Ascension, I heard, was garbage. Nub Zombie said don't play it, don't watch it, don't do anything with it, so I'm not touching it. Silent Hill the Arcade and the Escape, don't care, so yeah. That's the entire Silent Hill series. What a lopsided franchise. I really love a lot of these games and a lot of the stuff, but God, like this whole bottom half of shit is so bad. There's so little of worth, and it's so disappointing because there are positives to these products. Silent Scream from Revelation 3D, great song. Mostly just the music. It just makes me so sad listening to the music for Homecoming, like that Witchcraft song that I absolutely love so much. Great song. And just thinking, why was Homecoming so bad when it had the potential to be something so much more? Same with Origins. I mean, Origins had a rushed development, but I can't help but thinking Homecoming had a hard development too, because the final product is just such a fucking disaster. It's disappointing. Being a Silent Hill fan is hard, man. It's not an easy thing to do. It's really difficult. There's a lot that goes on that you don't have control over. There's a lot of people who still cared about the games who were just getting ignored. Like Tom Hewlett was trying to tell the people making the games, like, please don't put Pyramid Head in Homecoming. It's a bad idea. Please don't do it. And then they did it anyway. And then everyone got mad at him for it. So there were people who still cared about the series, but eventually the series died. It died for a long, long time. Silent Hill 2 Remake came out last year, and Revelation 3D came out in 2012, which means we had a long time without any Silent Hill media whatsoever. I'm not sure when Short Message came out, but I don't really count it. I mean, PT obviously got canceled, but the series died for a reason, and I kind of want to talk about why it died real quick. I know the tier list is over, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I think the reason the series died for so long was Konami's ridiculous, bizarre, crazy plan to have Western developers make the games, which I'm not saying a Western developer couldn't make a good Silent Hill game, because Silent Hill 4 was made by Eastern developers, and it's not very good, so it's not like only Eastern developers can nail this, but the Western teams were never given the time or the budget that they needed, and it shows, man. It fucking shows. Like, you play Origins, and you can tell something's wrong. But ultimately, I don't understand why they decided to go with Western developers, because the games were targeting the Western market anyway, and they were more successful in America. Is that why? Because they said, oh, it's successful in America, let's just have Americans make it? The whole reason Silent Hill is so successful in America is because it's a Japanese horror franchise that is set in America and that is so rare. So it's an outsider's view that ends up being more authentic than a lot of games made in America. And it had a lot of flavor and a lot of Japanese horror influence, while still taking influences from Western horror like Jacob's Ladder. And as the series went on, the Western developers, I mean, there's literally a scene in Homecoming that's directly ripped off from Jacob's Ladder, like frame for frame. It's the exact same scene from Jacob's Ladder, just put into a video game. But it's worse, because Jacob's Ladder is actually a decently directed movie, and Homecoming is a disaster. I already made fun of that line, like, where am I, man?
Where am I, man?
That line sucks. That line is horrible. That line is so poorly delivered. The point is, when the games started to be developed by Western studios, the Western studios just didn't have the time, didn't have the budget, didn't have the focus, and Konami didn't fucking care. If it wasn't clear already, Konami is one of the most mismanaged companies on the planet. I mean, what they did to Kojima and that famous Game Awards thing where everyone boos, that is because Konami is one of the worst corporations on the planet. And I have absolutely no idea what the fuck they're doing. Look at the state of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Like, we got Metal Gear Delta, that's cool. That's all we have to be excited about, is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. Cool. Kojima is probably never going to make another Metal Gear Solid game. That will probably never happen. Team Silent will never make another Silent Hill game. That will also never happen. I hope it happens. It's not going to happen. I know that. They purposely disbanded the team. They purposely went in and took the one development team that made this series a success and said, we are going to disband you guys. You go over there. You go over here. You go over there. We're going to make sure you guys don't have contact with each other, and we are going to separate you all. We're going to hand the series off to Western developers that are totally unqualified to do it. I think if they handed it to the right Western developer, things might have been different. But, like, the studios they gave it to, the Origin studio, their back catalog isn't exactly, like, stunning. Same with Book of Memories and Downpour and Homecoming and all this stuff. It's just really hard being a Silent Hill fan because of all the problems with the series and the way that it slowly crumbled apart and all the misinformation online and all the hatred directed at the wrong people, like all the stuff Tom Hewlett has had to suffer over the years, all the hostility. It can be tough, but at the end of the day, I love these games to death, man. Like, everything in B, A, and S tier are just pieces of media that have shaped me as a person in ways that I can never fully describe. These games changed my life. You know, they didn't fix it or anything. I'm still having a lot of problems and a lot of issues and I have a pretty hard life, but these games provided not only escapism for me, but I was transfixed by what they do. They made me a braver person. They made it so I can face harder things in life. They showed me that I can grow and I can learn new things and that I'm not stuck in my old ways like I think I am a lot of the time. I think they've had a very positive mental impact on me. Even if they are stressful to play sometimes and scary games, they've had a tremendous positive mental impact in my life. I'll never be able to overstate how important that is. So, I figured I'd make this little love letter to the series. I'm not getting paid from this video. I don't have a Patreon. I don't care about making money. I made this because I love the series, and I just want to share my opinion. Where would you rank these games? Do you think I'm stupid for, putting Silent Hill 4 in C tier? I feel like that's kind of generous. Maybe you hate me for putting Homecoming in F. That has a lot of fans. I've actually seen a lot of people defending it. Maybe you think Downpour is the best game in the series, and that's fine. If you disagree with this tier list, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just want to share my opinion and get it out there. If people don't like it, that's fine. I hope this video does well, but if it only gets like 100 views, that's enough for me. That's all I need. I'm just happy to finally have this project done with and finally be moving on to some other stuff, because these games have taken up quite a few months of my life, but I think I'm finally done with them. I'm just going to not play any of them for like 5 years. I'm just going to let them sit on my shelf. I'm going to forget what happens in them, and then I'm going to re-experience all of them in like 5 years. I think I've had enough Silent Hill for quite a long time. But I am excited for the stuff that's coming next. So I just want to talk about that for a sec. What's next for the series? Well, we've got Silent Hill F, which looks pretty cool. There are some things about it that worry me, but it looks really, really good. It's being written by the guy who wrote Higurashi. So we're in good hands. We've also got Return to Silent Hill, the movie, which I'm not going to show any trailer footage for because I've seen people getting their videos taken down because apparently the trailer isn't allowed on YouTube for some reason. But we've got a movie adaptation of Silent Hill 2, and it looks okay. Maria's wig is really obvious, but other than that, it looks cool. So we've got that to look forward to. And Bloober Team is remaking Silent Hill 1. And while I love Silent Hill 1, honestly, considering how good the remake of 2 was, and how janky Silent Hill 1 can be, it has the potential to be better than the original. I obviously don't think the 2 remake is better than the original, but the 1 remake, that has potential. Especially since Bluebird now really knows what they're doing and has gotten the fan feedback, and I assume they've taken it to heart. If you watch their behind-the-scenes videos, they care. You might not like every design change made in the Silent Hill 2 remake, but Bloober Team cares. And yes, I know a lot of their games aren't very good, like Layers of Fear is not a good game, but I'm specifically talking about Silent Hill. When it comes to that Silent Hill 2 remake, they really cared, and I'm just praying to God that Konami gives them the time and budget they need, and I'm praying to God that it isn't going to run like total shit on PC, because I really don't want to buy the Silent Hill 1 remake day one, on PC and have it just run like total garbage because it's in Unreal Engine 5 or something. Please just optimize your games better or don't use Unreal Engine 5. But other than that minor, annoyance that I'm a little worried about, I'm pretty optimistic, man. We're in a good place. We're finally in a good place for Silent Hill. We suffered for so long. We dealt with so much bullshit. I didn't even rank the HD collection, but I don't even have time to get into it. But we've been through a lot as a fandom. We have been through absolute hell. There's so much misinformation. There's so much harassment. There was so many bad games. There was a really bad movie. PT got canceled. We've been through hell. And I feel like even if Silent Hill F isn't the best thing in the world, and even if the Silent Hill 1 remake doesn't turn out to be a perfect video game, we have reason to be excited about this series again. And that means so much to me. I'm so thankful that we finally have a reason to actually be excited about something new coming out of Silent Hill. Because to be honest with you, since Silent Hill 3, I don't think most people have been checked in at all in terms of new content. Ever since Silent Hill 3, from Silent Hill 3 all the way up to the 2 remake, most people just dropped off. A lot of people don't even consider the games after 4 to be canon. So we're in a better place than that. And I think we should all appreciate that, if we can. I mean, look how popular the 2 remake is. It's the best-selling game in the series. That's wonderful. Obviously, yes, I wish the PC version was better, but putting that aside, it's a great success. It's wonderful to see the remake have so much care put into it and have something new that is Silent Hill related that I actually care about and that actually connects with me, even if I don't love everything that 2 remake did, which I don't. And that's why it's in B tier, but B tier is better than F. And F is where we were just a few years ago. I am now a super big series fan, so whenever F comes out, I'll probably do a playthrough of F. I'll definitely do a playthrough of Silent Hill 1 Remake, like a Funny Moments compilation or something. And I'll also talk about Return to Silent Hill when that movie comes out, and maybe I'll put it on the tier list as well. But as of now, this has been Those Hidden Gems, and man, I'm so glad to get this project done. Thank God. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.